While heavy rains throughout the state have wreaked havoc on hay producers, it's been a welcome relief for cattlemen and their pastures.
Yeah, in fact, our Damon Jones recently made a trip to Watkinsville for the annual UGA Grazing School and tells us some of the main topics that were discussed.
Cattlemen from all across the Southeast recently made a trip to Watkinsville for UGA's annual Grazing School. It's an event that provided plenty of useful and diverse information to producers looking to improve the quality of their pastures.
It lends itself well to producers that are anxious to find ways to be more efficient and more productive in utilization of their forage acreage and to get the most return for their investment dollars in their livestock operations and their grass production.
And it's not just the management of their forage that's important, but also the animals and their feeding habits as well.
When the animals are very selective and we don't manage the grazing, we waste a lot of grass. By managing the grazing, managing them in herds and moving those herds around, we can optimize the growth of the grass and optimize the performance of the animals.
Now, unlike the previous few years, there has been plenty of rain across the state, and while that does provide obvious benefits for pasture lands, there are also some major drawbacks that also need to be taken into account.
The plants have really shown that stress, and it's really finally getting a chance to redevelop those stands and redevelop the root systems and kind of recover a little bit from that drought. The problem is that weeds have come along with that, and it's showing some of the problems that are living with us now since the drought and our mismanagement during the drought.
And this weed problem should be a huge concern for cattlemen, especially during the summer months.
The old rule of thumb is a pound of weeds replaces 2 pounds of grass. And so it really robs a lot of productivity out of that pasture. Especially in our warm season grass pastures, Bermuda grass and Bahia grass are very sensitive to any kind of shade and competition.
This is just some of the valuable information visitors take away from annual meetings like these. However, it's just as important for them to attend to keep up to date on the latest technology in the industry.
Well, you take back quite a lot because not only do you take information that you gain from the speakers that are on the program, but also there are a lot of sponsors that are here that are also important parts of the system. For instance, there are many that are here that represent the equipment that you would use in rotational grazing systems.
And it wasn't just researchers and vendors giving out tips, but also the producers themselves, as these types of events allow people in the industry to gather and share some ideas with each other.
And in talking to the other producers from around this part of the country, you learn about some of the techniques that they use, some systems that they use, some ideas that they've tried that have been very successful. You learn and share with them things that we've tried that maybe haven't worked quite as well.
While there were a number of different topics discussed, there is really one piece of advice the specialists really hope attendees take away from this conference.
What I really would encourage them to do is look for ways to change up their system a little bit so that they can get more pastures in their system. That will drastically reduce the amount of hay that they have to feed, as well as increase their overall productivity.
Reporting from Watkinsville, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.